Hello crochet friends, it's me, Jonah, and in today's show and tell, I'm going to show you the stitch used in the Red Heart Rainbow Road crochet scarf. I have it on here, and what's cool about this scarf is that it's not just a regular scarf that's just a long rectangular panel and you wrap it around however style you prefer. This one actually has keyholes, so one side comes through the other and you make these two holes here so you don't have to worry about tying it or anything. You just put it through, pull it so that the two ends are even, then you're all set to go. And that's not the only cool thing about this project. It uses the relatively new Red Heart Super Saver Ogo yarn. It's the same Super Saver that you probably all know and have used before, but it transitions through the Ogo very smoothly, and this is the color Rainbow. And I wanted to use this one because I thought it'd be really bright and fun and playful. But if I was going to make a second scarf, I'd probably go for this one called Forest, because I love these earthy greens and this like really dull mint with these two browns. This is my second favorite Ogo color. Then you'll also need a 5mm hook, and I'll link to the free written pattern down below. And another thing to note is that you can easily change or increase the length just by adding stitches in your beginning chain and moving where your keyhole is so that it all lines up perfectly. Let's get started, and I'm going to show you how to do this half double crochet in the third loop. Okay, so here I am. I have all my tools and I have my scarf laid out here because I'm going to give you a little quick intro on how the scarf has worked and a few other important tips and tricks as you go along. So to start, right here we have our single crochet edge, which you do at the end, but you start with this chain right here, as you can see. You could also do foundation half double crochet if you prefer, but I did the chain just for this once because I wanted it to be even on both sides, like 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And if you go through, you can see it's just this beautiful rib pattern. It's still just this gorgeous rib pattern. But then here, you get to these keyholes. You can see if I go all the way, it just ends on the other side. But right here, this is 60 stitches in from one side. You have these keyholes. So this bottom one here is 4 rows. And then you chain 12, skip 12, continue the pattern all the way down. Come back for a row, another row, another row, another row, another row, and one more row. And then you're going to chain 12 over this exact same space, skip, and then go all the way down, and then work 4 more rows. And you'll end up with it perfectly even, and it'll be the perfect width as down here as up here. So another thing you may notice is that this stitch is half double crochet, like you can see from the top here. But it also has a ridge, and that's because when you work half double crochet, you're going to get 3 loops, just like double crochet in all taller stitches. You have the front loop. Well, actually, you would turn it this way when you're working backwards. So you have the front loop, which is right here, the back loop, which is the one back here, and then you have the third loop, which is right under here. So if I hook this third loop, you can see I still have these other 2 loops here. This one closest to me is the front, and the one farther away is the back loop. And we'll be working in the third loop. And then I also have the written pattern here, size, all those things you could possibly need, and then of course the pattern. I wasn't going to open an entire Ogo just for today's demonstration. So I decided to use just a skein that I've had of Care and Simply Soft. And this is the color Persimmon, in case you're wondering. And this is how it looks with a 5mm hook, because that's what the pattern recommends. But different yarns and 5mm hooks will give you different looks, thicknesses, drapier. For example, this is a drapier fabric than the one Ogo because this is a lighter and softer and thinner yarn with the same millimeter hook. But it also creates for a nice weaved texture. So once I finish this row, we're going to turn our work and I'm going to show you how the stitch is done. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to turn our work. And the first thing you may notice is that for this case, I did start out with a foundation half double crochet. That's why it's so stretchy and pretty with that little arrow at the bottom. But as you can see, it's very textured because when you work through this side, you're pushing these bumps this way, and then when you work this side, you're pushing these bumps out this way. So we're going to turn our work, and then we're going to chain up 1. Then I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So then to do this stitch, it's just a half double crochet. The only difference is where you're placing it. So once you work the chain 1, you're going to yarn over like you would for any half double crochet, but go under this first third loop right here. Go underneath it and work your double crochet as regular. So this is a very simple stitch once you learn how to work it. So you're going to yarn over, go under the third loop coming up from the bottom, pull through, and pull through. Yarn over, third loop up from the bottom, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And this is how you do the third loop half double crochet. For your first 2 rows, you're going to want to take it nice and slow, just coming up from the bottom, and then going like that. And you can always check to make sure you didn't accidentally hook any other loops by flipping it over and making sure this is a straight chain of arrows, or the top of your stitches, but they look like chains. Halfway through the row, and there, we've done a row. But what's next up to learn is how to make the keyhole. So if we have 18 stitches, let's say we wanted to make our keyhole 8 chains. So then we would work 5 half double crochets to start. And then you're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then skip 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then yarn over and go into that stitch right there and work a half double crochet after you skipped 8. And then you're going to work your last 5 half double crochets. Then you're going to turn again and chain 1. And now we're going to start with those same 5, and then we're going to work across the chain. And then you're going to yarn over and working under 2 loops of the chain, just work regular half double crochets. And I recommend that you go under 2 loops. It makes sure that it won't stretch out or any of those things or become mishappen. See, it makes it nice and straight and in line with the bottom row and all the other surrounding crochet work. And this is just your regular half double crochet for these 8 stitches. 1 more. And then as soon as you finish those 8, you're going to transition right back into doing half double crochets in the third loop for these remaining 5 stitches. And I have 1 left now. And lastly, we're going to work back across our row so that we can see how it's going to look once you work a keyhole. And keep in mind, in this pattern, you have to work 2 keyholes so that it goes under and it comes back up with the middle strand overlapping. Okay, now when we get to these chain spaces again over these half double crochets, we're just going to work them as normal if there is no chain space there by going through the third loop. Half double crochet and continue this across. And then when you switch back, just continue going nice and smooth. And you've worked a keyhole. That's what it'll look like, except it'll be much wider, of course, for the length of your scarf, and then your keyhole will be over a different number of stitches. And then the one last thing I'm going to show you is how to work down the side. So for this, I chain 1 again, but I do not turn my work. I just kind of rotate it to the side. And then I work 1 single crochet under this side row. And then I put 2 under the side of this row. 1 in the side of this row, So then I keep alternating by putting 2 in one row and then 1 in the next row. 2, 1. And that helps maintain a beautifully straight edge on the end, so that way you can line them up. And that's how you do the modified half double crochet, also called half double crochet in the third loop, with the keyhole and the single crochet edging that I like to do. I hope you enjoyed learning how to do the modified half double crochet, also known as half double crochet in the third loop, along with the keyholes and the single crochet edging, and how to space it out so that your work doesn't stretch out. Because with this pattern, it's possible and it's likely to stretch out because of the way it's worked and it's not bounded together. But that single crochet really does wonders, so I recommend you follow along with that, even though it's not in the pattern. And remember, I use the Red Heart Super Saver Ogo. And if I'm going to make another one of these scarves, I'm definitely using this beautiful forest color. I love the pine greens and these beautiful, rich, earthy browns. I hope you enjoyed this show and tell. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jonah's Hands, along with your inspirations. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and crochet away, friends.